there are certain features of CSR that must not be overlooked. We must remember that CSR is a voluntary responsibility of the organization that is taking care of ethical and environmental concerns. It is not legally binding on the corporate, but at the same time there has been change in company acts where to some extent in India it is a sort of binding. There are certain obligations it has which is based on the values, objectives of the society. Their main concern is a betterment of the society, the welfare of the public, and so they try and attempt making community outreach projects so that they may return to the public what they feel they owe to it. Employee relationships have an important role in an organization, and all corporates try to see that there is a healthy relationship amongst its employees. They also focus on creating employment opportunities, employing people, and retaining them, as well as training them for an upward mobility in their profession. They are definitely committed to the environment, and they have to focus on financial returns, though that is not the sole aim of it. Another aspect that has to be kept in mind is that CSR varies from society to society, from time to time. It is as times and place require, corporates mold their CSR activities according to the needs of the time, the needs of the place, etc. So these responsibilities vary to a large extent in society. Briefly, we can say that the types of corporate models that we have uh, amongst us can be classified as traditional or classical economic models, where the main goal is profit maximization, creating of wealth for the owners, for the stockholders, shareholders, and public welfare depends on the invisible hand, that is an individuals according to their self interest can participate or do things for public. The other model is the socio-economic model, in which contemporary CSR has a major role. Each and every stakeholder, apart from stockholders, shareholders, are taken into account for the benefits of the organization. The stakeholders audit is also done so that the company's impact can be gauged if the corporate is really responsible. It takes into account the needs of all the stakeholders. It is for the benefit of all. So it is not interested merely in accumulating wealth to its owners. It also is concerned with its very big responsibility of helping out the society at large, contributing to the welfare of the community, the society, and in fact the country as a whole, and maybe contributing also to the world welfare. There are different theories or models that have been framed for the justification of implementation of CSR. One of them is trusteeship model. In this model, the managers are supposed to be like trustees. They are concerned with the promotion of the organization's interest, and they must keep in mind long term benefits, and they must also see that if there is a conflict of interest, they can cordially and ably resolve it. The other type of model is the social entity theory, where corporation is regarded as a social institution. It is not a private association. It has been formalized, constituted, taking into mind all rules and norms, and it has a collective goal, that is the welfare of the public, which is set according to the public objectivities. The managers in such a model are representatives or guardians. The third type of model here we refer to is the pluralistic model. The pluralistic model has a number of interests, and it functions well if its legitimacy and efficiency is taken care of by the managers and the manager scholars. It also takes care of rights of all stakeholders, not merely the owners, and in fact ownership rights belong to all stakeholders, specifically employees. In a well placed CSR, corporates and sustainable development go hand in hand, and the corporates believe in socially responsible investments which have long term value, and the impact of the organization on the society is of prime importance. Gathering of economic wealth is secondary. However, CSR is not to be identified with a do good type of attitude. It gives the company a competitive edge. It is cost effective as well as is for the mutual benefit of the organization as well as the public. A brief look at the Indian scenario will tell us that the Companies Act, which was enforced in 1956, was replaced by the new Companies Act in 2013, and it became effective from April 2014. CSR has been made mandatory by the Indian government. There is a legislation set for it. There are norms also that have been prescribed. In India alone, 150 billion rupees is a CSR spending. Uh, and the government has set that if the turnover of any organization is 10 billion rupees and the net profit is 15 billion rupees, it is mandatory for the company to spend 2% of its profit on CSR activities. And we can imagine how helpful this would be if implemented properly, because CSR activities are in practice by 17,000 companies, and there are 14,000 companies whose turnover is 150 billion social projects. So let's hope that the CSR would be a magic wand that will change not only the business regime in India, it will also mark a remarkable overhauling of public welfare. Thank you.